this is something I really want more people to know about, okay? We need to set the expectation for the game of IDPA. And we need to do that because we need to make sure that we're not expecting something from the game that it cannot provide. And what I'm getting at is this. IDPA does not teach you how to win gunfights, and it's not going to be a simulation of gunfights. It's not. You're going to hear it though. You're going to hear it in classes. You're going to hear it in matches. Like, oh, well, you know, these rules are set up so that if you're actually in a gunfight, if someone comes up to you in a local match and they're trying to tell you what's going to happen in an actual gunfight, just brace yourself for the incoming bullshit, all right? Because shooting IDPA is not going to teach you how to win gunfights. What it will do is going to allow us a way to practice our skills that we may need in a gunfight. And those are two different things. So I'll give you an example, right? So in a minute we're going to talk about something called division capacity. You're not gonna load up your magazines for, I want to say 90% of the class. You're not going to load them up all the way. Even though this magazine holds 15 rounds, it probably won't see any more than 10. And the reason for that is so that you can level the playing field with similar type guns. And once again, you don't have the dude that bought the best stuff winning all the matches. Okay? Whoever spent the most money. It should come down to the best shooter. Whoever brought the best skill. Not so much the biggest magazine. If it wasn't for the magazine rules, I could just bring a 31 round, super big magazine and I'd never have to reload. But if I won, would I really be the best shooter? Or would I just be the guy that brought the best stuff?
What if you brought a pistol caliber carbine?
That's a conversation for a different day. But, when it comes down to reloads, you're going to hear people talk about, if in a real gunfight, you need to reload like this. No, that's not why we do this. All right, that's not why we do this. We put in reloads so that it'll force you to practice reloads. That's why we limit the magazine capacity. All right, so you can actually practice the skills, and that's why those rules are set the way they are. That's why with virtually every stage, you're required to draw from concealment. That's why with virtually every stage you have cover points. You have points of cover that you have to shoot from. Now, if you even look out here, right, at these stages out here, you'll see people that go up to a fault line and they'll say, oh, well, this is how you clear rooms. This is why we slice the pie like this. No, that's not how you clear rooms. Okay? Back when I was in the Marine Corps, that's not how they taught us how to clear rooms. I've trained with SWAT team leaders, and that's not how they clear rooms. No, the reason why we put fault lines out here and the reason why we have that tactical priority is because it would be a really good thing to practice to use walls and barricades as cover. It's something that you probably should be practicing, right? And if we throw more targets out there, it gives you more reps with practice. So that's why that stuff is out there. It's not how you clear rooms, and this game does not teach you how to win gunfights. You want to know how to win gunfights?
Don't get in one.
Well, that's the absolute correct answer. But the way to win gunfights is you go to classes that teach you how to win gunfights, and you go to instructors that study gunfights the way St. Jude studies cancer. All right? I'm talking about guys like Tom Gibbons, guys like Masada Yu, all right? Guys like John Correa, all right? Guys like John Hearn. We got John Hearn over here in Tupelo. All right, he's only a couple hours from here. We got Brian Hill down in Dahlonega. He's only a couple hours from here. All right, over in Murfreesboro, you got Akil Kadir and Tiffany Johnson. All right, you want to talk about some gunfight nerds? Yeah, even right here in your own backyard, we got Dr. Jimmy Turner. We got Randy Harris from Harris Combatives. We got Shannon Pable. Like, we got really good instructors right here in our own backyard, and they're going to teach you how to win gunfights. All right, and that's how you win a gunfight. You're not going to win it. You're not going to learn how to win gunfights out here in IDPA, and that's not something that we should expect from the sport. What we should expect from the sport is to have fun, to be safe, and to practice the skills that we might need. Anybody have any questions about what we should and should not expect from
Can I make a gunfight comment?
Sure.
I think it's a very unrealistic expectation. This is why IDPA is not about gunfighting. Is because, I mean, right now there's 10 targets out there. The idea that any of us, the idea that anybody is going to pick up any pistol and take on 10 armed guys and come out victorious is almost zero. It's almost impossible. So, you know, it is, to put in a nutshell what you've been teaching here, it's making you think with a gun in your hand.
That's right.
And that's
right.
really what it's about.
Yeah,
You've got to put the cognitive load on yourself.
Yeah.
I'll hop down off my soapbox now.
No, Troy is absolutely right, and that's something that needs to be said. The skills that you're going to learn with IDPA are vital. Drawing from concealment, using walls and barricades as cover, reloading and fixing your gun under pressure. All right, transitioning between multiple targets, target discretion, not shooting things that shouldn't be shot. Like all those are skills that we should probably practice, and IDPA is practice for that. But it's not training. It's not going to teach you how to win a gunfight.
So, what are the training scars that IDPA will induce that would be that would lower your chance of success in a gunfight? Like I've noticed, use of cover, laughable. You know, like you're supposed to stay further back and use your angles. You know, I've been taught that, but when you do IDPA, you get right up to the edge and you're leaning over and exposing yourself too much.
We're going to fix that today.
What are the other types of training scars that IDPA can bring that could negatively affect a real life performance?
That's kind of a deep rabbit hole, so we're going to cover that on the break, okay?
Yeah.
That's a pretty deep rabbit hole. And it really is just going to come down to the individual shooter, okay? Because there are some shooters, like for instance, I'll give you an example. John Farnham shoots matches like this as if it was a real gunfight. He will lose the match by a lot, but you know, he does practice the skills that he would learn every day. Like, for instance, these targets out here, right? He doesn't just get out there to the fault line and then pop, 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 pop. No, he just sneaks over to one side, picks off one guy, and then kind of ducks back behind cover, regroups himself, gets back out there, picks off the other guy, comes out from behind cover at a different point than he was originally. And, you know, a lot of the way that he shoots the match is really technically the right way. He's never going to win, though, you know, and that's not really the point. So, but yeah, it's really going to come down to the shooter. So, but if you're using this as practice and you're not really so concerned about the actual competitive shooting portion of it, and you're just using it for the practice that it is, then you can use a lot of the same methods that you learned in class, and they'll be applicable to out here. You're not going to win the match, but that's a choice you're going to have to make. That was a good question, though. Robert,
And it goes to the point of it's different from gunfighting.
Yeah.
An IDPA match is a match, and a gunfight is a gunfight.
Yeah.
Two different things.
Any other questions? Sloan?
Oh yeah, I was going to mention kind of his talk about the skills and building those up. One of the things I've noticed, one of the reasons I'm here is like I'm overthinking things. I'm trying to plan things out and trying to think while I'm shooting. But as soon as the buzzer goes off, that all goes out the window. And then it's like, you know, I just want to hit these targets as fast as possible, blah, 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 blah. And that to me feels like a huge training scar, right? Like I'm just trying to work through this thing when I get done, I'm like, wow, I went completely retarded out there.
It's almost like instead of responding, you're reacting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to work on that today. And that's another thing that's kind of a difference between gunfights and playing a game. You get to see all the targets. You get to make a game plan. You get to have the confidence that when you get over to this last wall, that target is still going to be there in the exact same position that he was there like 2 hours ago. And none of that is realistic, you know? So we'll work on some game mechanics today, and we'll get you better with the game, and it'll give you an opportunity. And also we're going to talk about how to make this game more fun and more applicable to actual practicing your CCW skills. So good questions. Any others?